In this video, I'm welcoming you into my studio and showing you the behind the scenes of a complete 90-minute recording session because I've started working on a new song here, which is called Hey Brett here in GarageBand. I've moved it over to Logic Pro for iPad, which you can check the video of that out in the description if you haven't already. And now, yeah, we're going to do some recording, some arranging. We're going to workshop this one over here in Logic Pro. We're going to play with the drummer. We're going to play with the guitar and the vocals. We might even do some re-recording. I've got my microphone here. I've got my guitar down there, all plugged in and ready to rock and roll. So let's put 90 minutes on the clock and get started. All right, let's dive in here. This is Logic Pro for iPad. As you can see here, this is my project and I've moved it over from GarageBand. It looks basically the same because they're very similar applications. But now I've got the benefit of having a mixer. I've got all the plugins. I've got all the bussing and the routing and the session musicians that we need here. And I need to finalize this arrangement and I'm going to use the chords track. So maybe we can play around a little bit with some backing tracks. Maybe we need a piano in here and maybe we can get Logic Pro to do some fun stuff. Now, the reason I got these two drum tracks down here is I got our drummer to follow along with my own sort of drum track that I'd put together here. So let's see if we can actually loop this out to start with. We're going to go... See, this is the problem. Sometimes you bring things over from Logic Pro and they don't quite work the same way. We'll go to our loop tool. There you go. That's going to work better. So I'm going to loop these drums all the way across just so that we can get this drummer metronome working. And you'll notice we've got all of these other tracks here. A lot of these were our original scratch tracks. So let's just mute those out for now and mute out our drums. And if you haven't heard this song, this is kind of what it sounds like. We'll do a bit of a sound check as well here. Let's do.
Hey Brett, I was an asshole. I didn't know what you were dealing with. I was.
So, yeah, look, this song has a couple of spicy words in it. I'd say it's PG-13, bordering on MA-15. So, the kiddies around, maybe just block their ears for a little while. So we're going to jump in here and just make sure that these sections of these drummers match. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back to trim and remove these. We'll delete that out. We'll delete out all these by just highlighting them. Oop. Drag over them. There we go. And tapping again, and tapping delete. So now that we're here in Logic Pro, I want to use the Logic Pro drummer to its full effect and use the drummer track here as a bit of a section cover. So this won't be our final drums, but what I like to do with the drummer track is use it to show the sections, because one of the challenges we have is when you move from GarageBand to Logic Pro, you lose your song sections. So I'd had my song sections all set up here for my verses and choruses and whatnot, but now we're going to use the drummer as a stand-in for that. So first of all, we need to find all of the different sections. So let's see where we go from our first one. So there's that's our intro. And what we're going to do is make sure that these actually match the drum. So these should be following this drum, because what I did back in GarageBand is I gave it the basic idea, because that's going to be the main pattern throughout the song. So I want my metronome drums, these ones here, to sound kind of like that. And you might be saying, why don't you use the metronome, Pete? I don't like the sound of the metronome. There's something about this. It doesn't inspire me. It doesn't help me get into the groove of things. So very early on in my songwriting process, I turn off the metronome and go with a regular one. So let us make sure that this is actually following. So what we can do is tap on that one, tap on the pencil icon here. And look, this drum arrangement was created in a previous version of Logic Pro. It was actually not, it was in there. So what we can do, it was in GarageBand. we can convert it to MIDI to preserve the original state or update to the new session player. So we want to update this. I want this to be our new session player. So we've still got the pop songwriter here. We've still got the follow. So the follow is on here. So we can make sure that this is following our track, which is these SoCal, these drums. So it's going to follow this drum tracks, which means when we go back to this one, it's going to be like this. So you hear the kick, snare. Everything else is different, but the kick and snare's there. Now let's edit this a bit more just to make it a bit more subtle. So again, we'll reduce the intensity and reduce the complexity. So it's just going to like chill a little bit here. Now we're not getting the snare hit we need. That's better. All right, we're also going to turn the fills completely off here. And is there anything else that we need to do? Ghost notes. Yeah, let's have a few less ghost notes. We don't want it humanized because it's our metronome. So it just shows you that there's some additional things we can do. And look, we could have even done the kick, snare. So if we didn't want to use the follow, now that we're in Logic Pro, we can manually enter in what our kick and snare pattern wants to be. So Logic Pro's got some cool options for the drums. So let's start naming these in here. And this session, just full disclosure, is going to be a lot of setup. So we'll be doing some recording and whatnot, but there'll be a lot of setup. So I'm just going to call this the intro because it is. And this starting one is going to be, if we name this, edit the name and color. There it is. It's going to be lead in. So lead in is there. Cool. So we've got our intro, we've got our lead in, we've got our intro. Let's play through this first section.
Hey Brett, I was an asshole. I didn't know what you were dealing with. I was back in my 20s. I didn't have any kids of my own, but...
Okay, and here's where things change up. So that next section is what we want it to go to, up here to bar number 19. So a little 8-bar chunk here. So what we can do is we're going to create a session player region there, and it conveniently does these in chunks of that. Although, you know what we actually really want to do here? We want to duplicate this section. So if we tap this one, and we got to remember how to do this. It's been a while. We'll just copy it and paste it. Move, trim, no, move. Shuffle left, no. We'll just copy and paste it. So we'll just tap on it, we'll copy it, and then we've got a version of it that we can use as we go through. So we'll copy it, and we'll paste it at the playhead, and there you go. It goes through to that. Now let's listen to this next section.
You gotta admit that you were kind of a dick, but so was I. Hey Brett, sorry now.
And that's where our next section will start. So up to 27 now. So this is just getting our little sections going on here. And we will line that up, tap it, paste it at the playhead. There we go. And is that going to 27? Yeah, so that's another...
Hey Brett.
And then we're there with our next lot of 8. So intro, the first one there. Now we need to rename these. Tap it, tap again. I'll use my cursor so you can see what I'm actually doing. Name and color, rename. And look, this might be, in fact, let's do this. Let's use our region. So we'll learn from our mistakes as we go along, just so that I'm sharing some tips here. So we'll tap there. Now let's just go into our region inspector, and then we can just tap straight in here. And we can call this verse 1 and come down here. And we'll call this chorus 1. I wasn't sure whether we'd call these choruses or verses, but we've got bridges later, so we're going to call that section the chorus. Okay, so now we're going to go to verse 2, so we might as well copy verse 1 and paste it in here for verse 2. So let's tap it again, paste it playhead, and there you go. And just make sure that you're always right on the bar markers with these, otherwise it can get sloppy. So there's our verse.
Now I really do know.
And there's our second chorus. So we can just, again, come here, tap it, tap again, go copy, scroll across. Now I'm using a magic keyboard here, so you can scroll with your finger here in Logic Pro, or you can use the touchpad with 2 fingers and just scroll to the left and the right. This is why I love having a Magic Keyboard here with the iPad. It gives you the best of both worlds. You want to reach out with your finger, that's cool. If you want to use that, you can too. Right.
Thing about people
Here's our
in
bridge.
management positions is we never get trained to know what's going on with people who have babies, and that you lose your freaking mind.
1, 2, 3.
So
this one, I think, has a few extras in there. So it goes through to their bar 52, and it comes from bar 43. So there's going to be a 10-bar chunk. So again, we're just going to copy these here, and paste it in there at the playhead, like so. But know that we have to go the extra couple with this one. And just make sure it matches up.
So, hey Brett.
No, it's not. It's only 1 bar extra. Okay. There you go. Trial and error. So it's that.
So, hey Brett.
Okay, so now we're back to a verse. So again, we'll just go to verse and we'll make sure we start naming these. So this is verse 1. But again, because we've got our inspector open, we can come in here and do like verse 2 there. And make sure that our chorus 2 is here. Bop, 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 chorus 2. All right. Okay, and this one is our bridge. So tap it. And you can see here that once you get into the swing of this sort of stuff, and I promise you, when we go to doing things like adding the chords track, which we'll do shortly, and doing arrangements and stuff, it is so much better if you do this. It's a little bit tedious, okay, a lot bit tedious, but proper planning prevents poor performance, right? That's what they always say. I'm actually just going to collapse this a bit too, because we're not using any of that at the moment. So if you're wanting how to do that, you can pull that out and you can slide it back in as well, because we don't need to play with volumes or recordings or anything. While we're arranging, we don't need that. So we're going to go into, after the bridge, we're going to go into verse number 3. So we'll paste this in at the playhead, and
I didn't realize.
so that's going to be our chorus again. So we're going to go that one. That's going to be verse numero 3. And our chorus number 3. It's an interesting, very different kind of pattern that I'm using. Different sort of songwriting pattern. It's not your verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. It moves around a little bit more than that, as you'll see as we go through. Let's just see how this goes.
5 minutes late to your goal center job. It wasn't your fault. I'm sorry, Brett.
Okay. That's going to go a bit longer this time because it's an extended chorus. Let's listen to it.
Because I didn't realize that when you had children, that it made you feel quite bad.
So on and so forth. And then
It wasn't your fault. I'm sorry, Brett.
and then we go into a little turnaround there. And I think this is only a short turnaround. Yes, because then we have our key change, which was suggested by one of our wonderful people on GarageBand Weekly when we first did this. So we'll copy this chorus 3. We'll update its name first. And look, do you have to do all of this stuff when you're arranging a song? No, but I tell you, it makes life easier down the track. And I'm all about making things easier for future Pete. Future Pete will thank me big time. So let's bring this back so it does its little build up there. I think it's a 4-bar build up. Let's check. Obviously, all these drums will change and be more dynamic as we fix things up. Yeah, and then we go to the verse that's almost out of my range. So we'll copy the verse, because even though it's a different key, it doesn't actually matter. So we'll paste it at the playhead, and
I didn't know it was that the actual problem was the place we were.
now I think this is using the bridge structure there instead of the chorus structure.
Thing about people in.
It is. So we want this bridge. We want this to be a second bridge. So you see what I mean? It's like the chorus kind of gets replaced by the bridge after this verse, after the key change, just for some interest. We'll paste that at the playhead. and just see.
sheets. So, hey Brett, I hope you're doing better now.
And because we're now here in Logic Pro, we're going to be able to have an actual slowdown at the end there. So this last section, we'll put some placeholder drums in there just to show what's there. So we'll just paste this in, paste it playhead. So that's going to be bridge 2, a bridge too far maybe, no. Bridge 2, and this is just going to be the ending. But as you'll hear, it's not going to be in time.
Hey Brett, I hope you're doing better now.
And because Logic Pro has a tempo track, we can actually get it to analyze the tempo of that, or we can play in some drums and then sync it up to it. We'll show you that as we go further on. So this is going to be our outro. So let's just check our structure, make sure everything makes sense. Lead in, intro, verse 1, chorus 1, verse 2, chorus 2, bridge 1, verse 3, chorus 3. What's this section? Why is that chorus 3 as well?
Sorry, Brett.
That's our turnaround. So we'll call that our turnaround, or your middle 4, or whatever you want to call it, because that's what leads into it.
Hey Brett, sorry that I was a jerk.
You can hear the smile in my voice that I couldn't really get those notes. Hopefully today I've got the water, because you need to always make sure adequate hydration when you're doing this sort of stuff. Now let's do some cleaning up and tidying, and we'll, even though Logic Pro has autosave, I like to save things. So I'm going to actually jump out there and save it. Oh, what is it doing? Why has it got a thing next to it? Oh, I was a bit worried there. I didn't know what it was doing then. I've not seen that before. Whew, slight heart attack, but that's okay. It seemed to work. Didn't corrupt itself. That would have been, I may have cried. You may have seen a grown man cry if it actually, after all of that naming and all of that work, it didn't work for us. So let's clean up. We don't need any of these tracks, so I'm actually just going to go in here, multi-select them, and delete the lot of them. Boom, they're gone. And then we could delete these tracks too. Tap, go, got to unmulti-select, that's right. Tap, tap, delete. There you go. They're gone. We'll keep the SoCal drums here, but obviously we're not using it. We'll pull that out there. So now we've got our metronome at the top here. I'm actually going to adjust the color. So we won't use that. We'll use like a pink color here for the track. Actually, that only changes the track. That doesn't change the region colors. So we'll need to multi-select all these regions and do the same. So multi-select those, tap on there, make them all pink. Oh, why did it not select these? Great question, me. Oh, Logic Pro can be a little fiddly. We'll use the multi-select tool instead. There you go. Make them all pink. All right, so there is. We know it stands out there like a sore thumb at the top of our project, and we've got all of that down and good to go. It is time to add a chords track. So here in Logic Pro, you can tap here and it will bring down your chord track. You can also add, sorry, that's adding chords. We don't want to do that right now. We can delete that. We can also add additional tracks if we come in here to our customize track header. Nope, wrong one. Customize global tracks is what we want. Customize global tracks. So at the moment, we've got show a single track and it's chords. We actually want the tempo track as well because we're going to be using that afterwards. And I'm not using markers at this stage, so we'll get rid of markers, and there won't be. Oh, there is a key change. So we will put key signature in there because we have that key change, which is an interesting thing. So we've got all that in there. Let's first of all go with the key signature, and it is in E flat. It starts in E flat, which is actually no, it's not. It's D flat basically because it starts with a D chord. So we'll have to adjust that. So we'll come to our thing up here, our notes, and we'll make the key, original key is going to be in, so D flat. So D flat, and then the chord change, the key change goes to E flat. And the reason it's that is I play my guitar most of the time. Oh, we'll just grab Can we grab the end of this? No, we have to add, we have to edit. No, we have to add a new one at the point where it does change. So let's just find our key change. What was my point? It was that there's our key change. It goes into verse 3. Wait, is that verse 4? That should be verse 4, which is the key change verse. Just not named correctly at this point in time. Verse 4. There we go. So there's our key change. Yeah, I play my guitar tuned down a semitone. And usually that creates havoc if I want to do things like keys or bass or any other things using virtual instruments. Not going to be a problem because Logic Pro handles it for us, especially if we're using virtual instruments. So the key change happens right here. So we should be able to add and put the key of E flat, which it jumps up to, hit done. And there you go, it creates that change. And then it stays that way for the rest of it. So that just tells us that, yeah, we got a key change for the first time. It's great to actually put that in here.
Hey, Brett.
Now, in the past, creating a chord track here in Logic Pro for iPad was a pain in the booty. Now, we've actually got a tool that can help us. If you've got the latest version of Logic Pro, we can actually use our guitar track, which we have all the way through, to try and work out, to analyze the chords using this track. So let's try it. We're going to select, and if we tap on the actual track, it'll select everything, and then tap again with everything selected, come down to chords, and let's analyze chords. All right, let's see how this goes. This will be very interesting to see how well it does with these chords. And what has it done? Has it put the chords on here? We'll just spread it out a bit. It didn't do anything. Interesting. So if it's analyzed those chords, let's just multi-select all of these. I was just telling you how great. Oh, there it is. Oh, it just took a while. Okay. So let's zoom out. Yeah, baby. Okay, so it did it eventually. So it's got there, D flat. Let's play this. Oop, play. B flat minor, G flat, A flat, D flat. Yep.
Hey, Brett. I was an asshole.
All right.
I didn't know what you were dealing
We've got
with.
the Logic Pro no space bar, no bueno bug. So sometimes your space bar, which you can use to stop and start, just doesn't work. It's Logic Pro still has some bugs. I'm hoping that the latest version, the next version we get, has some bug fixes and improvements there. So what we can do now is actually, we'll go back to our multi-select because we can take all these chords, if we select all of these and then go back to this, we should be able to apply all of these up to our region because you can see here our chord track hasn't been populated. It won't do that automatically. So we have to tap here, tap again, go to chords and apply region chords to chord track. There you go. It has added all those chords, which is pretty good. And that's a very quick way of doing things. You can see there we've got everything we need set up. Should we have a go at this tempo at the end? I've not used this a lot. So let's see, where does our tempo actually
I
change?
didn't care that people aren't machines. So, hey, Brett, I hope you're doing better.
So it's there. So it's from there. I wonder if it'll let us use these guitar chords to analyze the sound, the pitch, the tempo. I'll get there eventually. Now, the reason I'm just doing this to start with is I don't want to confuse it by getting it to slow down because I just want it to slow down on that last chord. And these guitar tracks, they're guide tracks. They won't be the final guitar tracks. I'll re-record those as we progress with this song. So, and look, it's even got that B flat is a 7 chord as well. So that's pretty cool. All right, so.
Hey, Brett, I hope you're doing better now.
So let's see if it can get our tempo, if we can reduce the tempo at the end here. So what we can do, tap again. We're going to go tempo this time. We're going to analyze the tempo, and it should work out what that is. And then if we go to tempo and apply region tempo to project, you can see it does actually come down. So let's see if it does a good job.
So, hey Brett, I hope you're doing better now.
Right? And look, we wouldn't have the drums like that going anyway. I don't think there's going to be drums at that end bit, but it's just if we're using bass or if we're using other instruments, it will help us out. All right. So we've got a guitar, we've got vocal, we've got our complete metronome drummer track that's very boring at this point, but we'll address that as we go through. How are we doing on our recording session time? We're 25 minutes in, and yeah, we're cracking along here. It's a good pace to get all this stuff done. If we had to build that chord track manually, and look, I haven't checked, but there may be a chord or two that we need to fix as we go through. We'll hear that as we go. If I had to do everything manually, probably on the side of 30 minutes to do that. So the new Logic Pro, thank you Apple, the new Logic Pro update, despite the fact it's made a few things a little bit flakier and a few bugs, it definitely saves a lot of time when you're doing songwriting with that chord track. It's why I brought this over into Logic Pro from GarageBand at this point, because now it's a beautiful, like we've got the tempo track that slows at the end, we've got the chord track throughout, we've got that wonderful metronome track there that we can build on and create our own drummer track with a session player as we go. All right, let's have some fun before we get back to the recording. I just want to know what would happen if I just throw session players at this right now. If I just throw some keys and throw some bass and see what we actually get here. So let's hit the plus button. Session player drummer. Sure, let's add a session player drummer, and that will create a new drummer. And look, it's done all the sections there, and it's looking cool. What we'll do this time is so we're following the chords and the rhythm, and it's not actually following any track, but I might get it to follow. Should I still get it to follow the SoCal track? We'll leave it as is for now. And what sort of sound do we want? We've got different drummers now. We've got this is a sort of folky song. So what should we go with? Should we go with like some brushes? Is it brush or is it? It's not really funky. I think we're using Pop Songwriter before. It's like a folk rock kind of sound. So we want something sort of soft, not too maybe Roots. Let's try Roots Songwriter. And we don't want it to be complex. We want it to be pretty chill and not too intense. So we'll layer all that back there. Now I've only got the one thing. Yeah, I've only got that set. So we need to highlight them all. Easiest way to do that sometimes is just to click off and then click back on the track and see how they're all set there now. So now I believe if I change them here, is that going to change all the others? Yep. So now all of our different sounds are going to be connected, and we can then workshop it from there. But we'll drop it down like that, following the chord or the rhythm, and let's just see what that has done. Out of the gate, we'll mute out our template, metronome, you know what I mean, and play. 100% wrong. Just the absolute wrong vibe for the track. So we'll turn it off, we'll come back here, and we'll go back to our pop. So we don't want the roots. It'll use a different kit if we use the Pop Songwriter. Again, we'll lower the complexity and the intensity here. And we definitely do need it to get the right rhythm. We need to follow that SoCal track. So it's going to get and you can see that it immediately, it's immediately updated its kick and snare pattern by doing that. So let's see what it's come out with now. Really not great, is it? Let's go even less intense. We really need it, and even less complex. And let's see, what have we got? I'm not convinced that it's actually changing anything, as you saw there. It's really not. Look at that. That's why we weren't getting it. That's why it was sounding the same. So does this mean that I can't multi-select and change the settings for both, for more than one at once? Let's just do this. You can see it changing there, but is it not changing on that one? Let's come out of there. Okay, so it did that time with it multi-selected. It changed them both. So we must have to just manually multi-select all of them. Let's try this. Manually multi-select. This is a learning experience for all of us, isn't it? So we'll manually multi-select all of those, including our lead in. And now if we adjust the, or maybe it was because they were different. If we tap off, okay, I think it might have given us, oh no, it hasn't. Okay, it's this problem where it'll only let you do this if you're multi-selecting and some of them are different. It won't change all of them because it can't. It doesn't know which way, what you want to do if they're not all the same to start with. Because see there, now that we've done that, I think they've all been kind of dropped down. Look at that. There we go. So now we can actually listen to, because I'm like, I'm turning it down, and it wasn't doing anything. So now it's not complex enough because we're not getting that second snare hit. So let's just turn that up a bit. And again, the feel here, we don't really want the sort of the dynamics to, we don't want it the push-pull, we kind of want it more on the beat, and we probably don't want as many ghost notes as you get in there. So I think one of the challenges with Logic Pro Drummer is there's so many options here, and we'll build out a proper drum track eventually, but I just wanted to play with this and see if we could get something close for now.
Hey Brett, I was an asshole. I didn't know what you were dealing with.
Yeah. The other thing, so we want to be able to have all these sections and change them up independently. So look, not loving how that worked out, but it might just be that I need to experiment, find the right kit, find the right style. So let's bring our metronome back in for now. Excuse me. Cough. Got to get that hydration going again. Where's the water? All right. If you're learning a thing or two or enjoying seeing this kind of, low-key, chilled, over-the-shoulder kind of process, feel free here to hit the thumbs up key on your YouTube machine. I appreciate you big time. Those likes are not just for my ego. They actually help other people discover this by putting it out there and saying, hey, there's this guy. He's recording a real song in Logic Pro for iPad. Maybe you would like to watch so that you can learn a thing or two that might help your projects. Let's have some fun. Let's add some session players. We're going to add a bass player because I think the session player could work quite well for a bass player for this particular track. So we don't need it in the lead-in, so we'll delete that. Let's just see what it gives us completely off the start without changing anything. It's doing pretty good, isn't it? It's defaulted to the pop songwriter bass player. And he's sitting in the pocket.
Hey Brett, I was a jerk. I didn't know what.
All right, that's pretty good. I get out of the gate just to have some sort of bass in here. And you can see that it's added all the different sections. So this time it's using the section, weirdly, it's using the sections that came across from our original project, which I didn't think was a thing. Which, if I knew it would chunk it down like that, I would have spent a bit more time fixing those up as well. All right, let us continue. Let's add another session player just for some fun. Let's add some piano, shall we? Some keys. Or I reckon an electric piano is probably going to be the go with this. Again, we'll delete the top section there. And we'll select all. again, we should be able to just change it all up here. So we don't want free. I think we want just a simple pad, and we want it to be an electric piano. So we'll come in here to our instruments. So this is the way we change the instrument, by the way. So by default, it's going to use this. Which is pretty good out of the box. We don't want quite that much intensity, so we'll change that. But let's come in here and check out some different instruments. We'll go to our instrument patches, and we want to search. And we'll search vintage electric piano. There we go. And which one do we want to use? I think the Deluxe Classic or maybe the Deluxe Classic. Let's use that one. So that adds it, and now our pad will be using this Deluxe Classic instead. Oh, no space bar. That's a nice sound. Very subtle, yeah? That's kind of nice.
Have any kids of my own, but you gotta admit that you were kind of a dick, but so was I. Hey Brett, I'm sorry now.
So, what do I think? Yeah, look, again, we can change up all of this sort of stuff. I think we probably need, so it's the root and the octave at the moment. I'd probably think we need the root, fifth, and octave. And voicing is 3-voice common tone. Yeah, we probably need to keep it simple like that. I would actually shift this down a little bit to spread it a bit more throughout. So, and let's get a little bit more intensity in there. So let's listen to this now. Play.
Hey Brett, I was a jerk. I didn't know what to do. You
And if we went to the full chord, for instance, you get a little bit more. But yeah, it's so wonderful when you've got a chord progression and you sort of hear how things change. Let's go to the chord change and see what it does when we go to there. Well, we're only showing the tempo track. Why aren't we showing all of them? I thought I told you to show. Oh, there we are. There's our chord change. Let's we'll bring this back in, and we'll see what all these different instruments do as we reach there.
Hey Brett, sorry that I was a jerk. I didn't know what you were going through with that little baby at home.
Okay, maybe we do have some piano in here as well. This is fun. This is where the creative meets the automation, the AI. Oh god, we got this far without using AI, didn't we? We probably do want to probably broken chords. We can experiment with a few different styles here. So we don't want it too super complex there. And yeah, probably around the middle, it's going to be using the full chord voicing here, following the chord and the rhythm of our track. So let's get rid of the lead in because that's not required. Tap again, deleted. All right, what about this piano? Play. I think it's using freely there, is it? I think, yeah, again, we'd only change that first one. I guess that's a trap for young players. Let's instead go with the broken chords. All right. And has that updated all of them now? 1, 2, yeah. So let's see what we got here. Play. That's kind of nice. Now, here's where you might have listened to that and gone, it's sounding a little bit off the beat. And that's because by default, it adds in these dynamics, which are fine, but it also does this pull, which, yeah, I don't always love. I tend to start with things a little bit less humanized, a little bit less dynamic, and then work it up. I'd rather hear it in time to start with and then go, oh, it's too mechanical, and then change it afterwards. Otherwise, what's the point of having a piano player that can play in time if you say, oh, but don't play in time? No, that makes no sense. Oops, I've moved that. Undo is your friend. Undo is your friend. You just got to remember where it is in Logic Pro. Where is the undo button? Well, let's control. Let's Command Z. Seriously, where is the undo? Why? Why do I lose my knowledge of things? Usually, it's there, isn't it? Yep. Undo, change region position. Yeah. Okay. It's that one there. That's your undo, just in case you're playing along at home and you're like, Johns doesn't know what's going on here. So again, we'll reduce the complexity and the intensity. We've got them all selected. Yeah. So let's deselect now, and they should all. Oh no, they don't, because we've done that same thing again. Let's redo it. Let's tap there, and let's just go from block chords back to broken chords, and it should default everything back to the same. And then we can come in here and do the details. Just get everything. Just double tap those and bring the humanize to nothing. Just to start with, and then we'll reduce the complexity and intensity, and take a listen to what we've got. Is that starting just before there for some reason? Why is all these things off the mark? Is that because I moved them? Oh, I'm moving things again. I really must remember to lock stuff in before I do all this. We'll tap it again. Let's just move all these. Oh my goodness, why can't that move? Oh, there we go. There we go. It wanted to create like a sampler track or something. All right.
Hey Brett, I was an asshole. I didn't know.
All right. I've moved them to the wrong spot, as you can see there. So we'll grab them all and drag them back to there. I started it at the wrong spot. But it still sounded okay, didn't it? Let's have a listen.
Hey Brett, I was an asshole. I didn't know what you were dealing with. I was.
Okay, it sounds okay. I don't really like that it leaves off that last chord. So that's probably the complexity. If we just boost that up, it'll probably add in that last chord. Let's have a listen.
I was back in my 20s. I didn't have any kids of my own, but you gotta admit that you were kind of a dick, but so was I. Hey Brett, sorry now. Hey Brett, I was a
I like it. All right.
The thing about people in management positions is we never with people who have babies, and that you lose your freaking mind. So, hey Brett, sorry that I was an ass, didn't mean.
Yeah, look again. I'm getting lost just playing now, aren't I? And we're like halfway through the session, so we should probably do some actual recording here. And now that we've kind of got that vibe, I kind of want to sing along to this. So let's balance these tracks out a little bit first, because I think these new session instruments are a little bit loud. We'll just drop the piano there. We'll bring the guitar back up, or maybe I play the guitar first as a go here to warm up. Let's do that. Let's record in some guitar to get things started. Right, now, well, I'll show you a few things here with guitar recording. We will, what I actually want to do, I actually love the tone of the Nice Room from GarageBand. So I'm going to steal that, and I'm going to keep that tone here by just tapping that one and duplicating to get a new track here. And we'll play along to the other guitar. We'll just turn it down and we'll record through and see if we can do an entire take here, because even that take was not quite there. So I've got to remember. What would be fabulous if you're watching Apple, see how we've got all these little tiny chords up the top here as we're recording, but there's no way to increase the size of these. You can spread them out, but they're always really small. How good would it be to have a big chord, like to create a chord chart that you can play along to? Now that I know the chords there, what would the harm be of having a chord chart that I could actually play along with? That would be rad, but it doesn't exist right now in the world. So we'll just do what we can with this. So we'll set this one up. Now I like to use this little section here, your little channel strip, so that you don't have to go to the mixer, but you've still got all of the benefits of the mixer along here, including the ability to come in here and make sure that we have the right input, which we do, and that we turn on input monitoring. And we have a tuner. Now, if you don't see your guitar tuner here in Logic Pro, you may need to add it. To add it, you go to the three dots here, you go Customize Control Bar, you go to the modes, yes, you go to modes and you tap on tuner. And that will place the tuner right here and you can tune up. So, knowing that we need that one to be D sharp, down a little, pretty close. And it's actually a not bad tuner. Does a pretty good job of getting you in the zone. I need to sneeze, one moment. Yeah, I know. I could edit it out. We're not live, but I'm not gonna. And I do have a tuner on the headstock here as well, so we can use a bit of double duty there, because some of the notes it struggles with. Nice. So yeah, you can hear that the sound there is actually really quite pleasant with that nice room sound. It just adds in just the right amount of reverb and compression to make it sound good, in my opinion. Your mileage may vary. You may want to use one of the GarageBand guitar, the Logic Pro guitar tones. All right, so we have our lead in here, and we can now record in some guitar. I'm going to hit the record button and record. Actually, I'll bring up on my screen, I do have the chords chart, so I can bring that up on my monitor here, because I showed you that when we were recording the original version. So just so that I remember all these chords and hopefully can play. All right, let's do this thing. Record. Ready?
Hey Brett, I was an asshole. I didn't know what you were dealing with. I was back in my 20s. I didn't have any kids of my own, but you gotta admit you were kind of a dick, but so was I. Hey Brett, I'm sorry now. Hey Brett, I was a jerk, didn't know what to do. You rocked up late for work, I didn't know what you were going through, and now I really do know, 'cause I've been there too. So, hey sorry now. Thing about people in management positions is we never get trained to know what's going on. People who have babies and that you lose your freaking mind. So, hey Brett, sorry that I wasn't us. Didn't mean to make you feel sad. Hey Brett, you told me that in your review. Now I'm sorry to you, 'cause I didn't realize that when you had children that
I forgot about the bridge. All right, come back to here.
you told me that in your review. Now I'm sorry to you, 'cause I didn't realize that when you had children.
So it's a G, G, A, F sharp, B minor. All right, we can do this. So we'll cut in from here. Now, do we have lead-in set up here? I can't remember. We'll find out.
Sorry to you, 'cause I didn't realize that when you had children that it made you feel quite bad, and that you didn't get any sleep, and that rocking up 5 minutes late to your call center job wasn't your fault. I'm sorry, Brett. Hey Brett, sorry that I was a jerk. I didn't know what you were going through.
And then I forgot that one. The good news is, though, that the more you play these songs doing this process, the better you get at them. So by the time you're sort of towards the end and you're doing your final recording, yeah, you kind of know it like the back of your hand. You're also usually very sick of it.
Hey Brett, sorry that I was.
All right, so it's from there that we wanted to. So it's from that key change. So we'll play from the key change. And again, I could be looking at the chords that are up the top there and playing them, but it's hard to see them. Plus, they're slightly different because I'm playing the shapes of it as if it was in D and then E major, but it's obviously not. So let's go. So it's... All right, let's do those.
Hey Brett, sorry that I was a jerk. I didn't know what you were going through with that little baby at home. But now I know the truth, that the actual problem was the place we were working. They didn't give you adequate time off when you had a baby, and they didn't care that people aren't machines. So, hey Brett, I hope you're doing better now.
Okay, so let's see if we can get this timing right, Simon.
So, hey Brett, I hope you're doing better now.
And obviously we wouldn't have those there. Okay, so that was an okay guitar performance. We'll just need to adjust a few of these things like so to bring that back there. Make sure that this has a nice little break between, which it does. That's fine. And where was our other mess up little spot? Well, that was it. Okay, that's not bad. It's not bad for only like the third or fourth time I've ever played the track. That's pretty good. So now we can turn the monitoring off, like tapping there, because you noticed we weren't hearing it when we were playing back. And you can also see it started using the comping feature here because we recorded it. There's a couple of different takes there. So there's take 1 and take 2. So take 1 and take 2. So take 2 was just that section there. which the take system, it works okay until it doesn't. But if we go take one, see, it doesn't have the section through there because it's where I stopped. But so what we need to do is basically do a comp now, which is fine. I shouldn't have done it this way. We'll go to comp and we'll So it's actually comped those together automatically. I think we'll find out when we listen back, won't we? Yeah. I'll play it.
5 minutes late to your goals and a job. It wasn't your fault. I'm sorry, Brett. Hey, Brett. Sorry that I was a jerk.
Is there some horrendous latency in there? Is that all the way through? That's a bit bad, isn't it? Look at the delay. I think I got some problems in my setup here. 100%. I think that's because the setup I currently have is I'm routing through my mixer, so I think it's adding a little bit of round trip latency there. There are some things that we can do, and I didn't actually set up beforehand because this is the first recording here that I've actually done. If we go to our settings and we go to audio, we can actually change the buffer size, although it's down at 64 samples at the moment, which is kind of where we want to be. The other thing that we can do is put low latency monitoring mode on, which may make a difference. For this point in time, I'm just going to shimmy those because I think it'll work fine. It's just, is it slightly behind across the board, or is it just that section? Let's find out down here, hey? Yeah, you can see those transients are just hitting late. So we'll capture all of it here. Just go to the front here to make sure we've got some room. And especially these starting ones, these will be easier to line up. So we'll just, can we trim there? Won't let us trim because it's a comp, perhaps? Perhaps. All right. Well, then we'll split. If you can't do that, we will split at the playhead instead and delete out that chunk. All right, now we need to select all by doing that. And let's see if we can fix these by bringing these back a little bit. Weird sort of problem, but something that may happen to you too. So we'll drop it back to there, just a few little seconds, and see how these line up now. Still behind, isn't it? That's okay. We'll just do it a little more. So again, make sure they're all selected by tapping again. It's the easiest way to do that. Come to some of these points here and find that. Drag it back. Another 2 little notches there, and I reckon that might be better. Let's find out. Yep, so there was just a bunch of delay in there now.
Hey, Brett.
All right, so that's a nicer sounding guitar, so we can remove the older one and keep in this new Logic Pro recorded one. Let's just come down to these transitions.
Hey, Brett. Sorry that I was a jerk. You were going through with that lick.
All right, we need to do the vocals in a minute as well. I need to redo these lead vocals. Get the water ready. How are we going on the time here? We are at 1 hour, so just under 1 hour. 30 minutes to go. And the reason I'm doing a 90-minute chunk is that's about my maximum time that I would suggest you do a recording session. Once you get past an hour and a half, take a break. Go outside, touch the grass, look at the sky, smell the trees, whatever you want to do. Because you get lost in the song, and you don't want to, A, get sick of the song by hearing it too much, And B, you need to rest your ears. The ears are the most important part. And I know we're doing a lot of stuff visually here, including lining up transients due to the latency there. But yeah, you don't want to get stuck in the whole just looking at things and tweaking things and changing things. Give your ears a rest, give yourself a rest, go play a video game or do whatever it is that floats your boat. All right. And I'm already hearing bits where I think the other instruments can be in there and where they shouldn't be in there and where they might pause and that stuff. So as we're playing through this, I'm getting arrangement ideas. And this is where I think the session players are good. They're not going to do the whole thing for you because they will just be like, right, we'll just play along. They're like the drummer that doesn't know when to like have a nice big pause. He just wants to put a fill in there. And I say he because, I don't know, female drummers are probably more understanding. Oh, I'm creating gender warfare here. No, not the case. All right, shut up, John. Get back to your shong man. All right, and I will. So let's just listen through to the start of this, make sure that with this new guitar part, it's all hunky-dory. There's our lead in. I like it. I like all the sounds that we're getting in here. Why does the bass not start at the start? That's unusual. Look at that. Why is it not right on the bar marker? Let's just stretch it and prop it back. Okay, sometimes the session players are a bit weird. Like, why on earth would there not be a bass note at the start? There is at the start of the next section, but not this section. Why, bass player? Why? What if we just delete that one out and pull this first one back? Will it make any difference? Yep, I fixed it. Oh, and it's completely changed it. Okay. And then it moved it. All these first bits are just weird. And even when I pull it back like that, it's not, because it's got no chord. Is it because the chord is in the wrong spot? Ah, there's your problem. There's your problem, Sherlock. See that chord? The chord is not on the marker. The chords are not on any of the bar markers. Have I moved the chord track somehow? Is this why are they all just slightly past the chord, the bar markers? Is that the case across the board? That's annoying. They're on there for some of them. All right, well, let's see if we can at least fix it for this one. Now, what we're going to have to do is ungroup these chords, move the no chord. Oh, they're all together. Boop. All right, that's at least got that there. And have they all lined up, or is it? It's moved to all of them. Oh man. All right, undo. Okay. So let's just select the no chord and move that, and then just grab the start of this D and make sure it's there. Is that going to make these all start now? We're learning together, folks. Hey, Brett. So, yeah, I think some of these, it's just not fully lined up on the bar, which is an interest. Like, I get it. Maybe because I played the note, like the chord, too early. But surely surely it knows that that's not what I want. That's not what I want. So here I was praising the fact that it did a good job with the chords, and it did. But am I now going to have to go in and fiddle there and just shift them, and it's just going to make? And look, maybe this doesn't have session instruments in the end anyway, and maybe it's not the whole way through, so it might not be as big a problem as it perhaps first seems. Let's do some singing. I've got my microphone here ready to rock and roll, and this time we will use the Logic Pro settings instead. So we'll create a brand new. In fact, let's do a save, shall we? Let's pop out by tapping in the top left. And oh, that was unfortunate. Hopefully, Logic Pro does an okay job with its auto saving. Did it? Yes, okay, it's kept all of our stuff. This is why I don't trust even the autosave. This is why I suggest you jump out of your projects regularly because you never know quite what's going to happen here. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to move this project because it's in my GarageBand folder at the moment. It's in here in progress. And what I'm going to do is grab this whole folder of Hey Brett. Go back. We'll leave the original GarageBand ones in there as well. We will move this folder, and we will pop it in Logic Pro and put it in my Logic Pro in progress folder, just so that it's all consolidated under the Logic Pro folder. Hopefully this hasn't messed things up. Why are you taking so long? Why are they going to spin like that? Oh, probably should have done this afterwards. Oh, the iOS file system is less than reliable at the best of times. And what is it doing? You're spinning. I see you spinning there, but what are you doing? Do I have to X out of you? Did you actually do it though? Let's go to in progress here. No, it hasn't moved it. It didn't work. Let's not risk anything. I'll do that afterwards. Let's. Is it still here though? Hopefully, it still stayed here. All right, there it is. All right, let's just leave it in this folder for now. I'm not willing to risk it again. We'll duplicate out to get version 4 now. So we'll keep doing our version control stuff. It is taking a long time to do things here. iPad OS 26, inferior to iPad OS 18. Just saying. It brought some good things, some different changes and things, but it also kind of made some things worse. Things like this, where I swear this sort of thing. I know it's on iCloud Drive. I get it. It's got to do its syncing, but why is it taking so long to do that? It's just sitting there, and it's like there. And what is it doing? I don't know. I don't want to pause it. I want to let it go. Let it go. Let it go. But this is not really bueno. But this is fart. This is part of what you'll go through sometimes with your projects and with software like Logic Pro. Am I going to just have to jump back in and keep going with this in the other one? It's like locked up too. Outstanding. Right. I'm going to close and reopen Logic Pro and see if I can get into the previous project. This 90 minutes could be 70 minutes if I can't reopen this project. I can't. I have to pause this syncing. Okay, it's because it hadn't uploaded that to the cloud yet. And it was uploading it, but it was only 85. All right, let's. Oh no. It won't go back in there until it's finished this. Oh mate, what have we got? What have we done here? By trying to do better, I've managed to completely mess it up. Let's see if we can salvage something here. We're coming out. We're going into files. I don't mind it when these sort of things happen when I'm doing things like this because it shows you that it's not just you, that these sort of things happen to all of us. They shouldn't, but they do. All right. What have we got if we come in via this way? Can we select? So we can select the project there. Let's copy it and let's paste it over into my Logic Pro folder and hope for the best. Logic Pro in progress. And we will create a new folder here and we'll call it Hey Brett. And we'll put that in the in progress. Or we won't. What am I doing wrong here? Everything's just not working for me. You go in there. Release. Oh, didn't work again. Oh, I'm telling you. Go in there. Yeah. Oh, I've lost my ability to do things. Let's tap this. Let's copy it. We want to move it, but last time I moved something, it had kittens. Come in here, and why can't I paste in here? Oh man. Oh, yeah. Okay. Um, okay. I won't do my file management that I was trying to do. We'll go back in here. We'll go back to this. I would apologize, but again, I think this is good to see. It's not fun, but and maybe I'm doing something fundamentally wrong. Someone can tell me. So there's our project. All I want to do is make a copy of this and put it somewhere else. So we'll just put it in Logic Pro. We'll put it in my in progress and we'll fix up the folder structure later. Okay, can we just paste in here, please? Please? Please. Where's paste? I don't want to move. I just want to copy and freaking paste, man. I've lost it. I've lost my ability to manage files. I used to be able to do this so well. Undo move of Haber. No, let's not do that. All right, let's see if we can just reopen it from wherever it's got it currently. We just tap on that. Can we double tap? Can it open back in Logic Pro? Oh, the irony if we just like manage to mess things up and lose everything in this project. It's not looking promising, is it? It's not looking promising at all. Again, I don't hate it. I'll be a bit annoyed if I've lost the progress of what we did here today. I don't think so. I think it'll recover and come back, but I'm not convinced at this point in time that I haven't messed it up royally. So that way is not working. Okay, can we go back in through Logic Pro and open the file? Oh, the operation could be completed because its name is too long or includes characters that are what? What? What are you talking about now? Oh man. Okay. So there is our project. Let's go back to where it's actually saved in. This is fun. All right, so it's in our in progress folder. And it's in this. Where is it now? Has it moved it now? Maybe it was. Maybe it finally moved it. Oh, there it is. But the folder's there, but it's got nothing in it. Did it put it in progress? There it is. Has it got anything in it? There, it does. Oh, it has the attempted copied one, which is still 0, and it has the original one. What if we duplicate it again? Oh, it's syncing. It's doing its iCloud thing. Oh, it's created that now. Will this version work? Come on. Oh, it's loading. Is it going to work? It's coming back. What an epic adventure. Right. What's our learning from this? I don't know. Don't use iPad OS 26. Pray that 26.5 or 4 gives us something better. Although I've heard 26.4 has its own set of problems. Anyway, we've recovered there. Should we sing this song? Let's close out. Let's close out by doing a vocal take, which is what we were trying to do 10 minutes ago before all of that happened. So we're going to mute out our original lead vocals here. Mute. And we're going to... Oh, that's right. We were trying to add a vocal track, and then I decided I would try and save and try and do the right thing, and it ended up messing it all up. So we'll come out here. We want an audio track. We will tap the 3 dots there. Audio, we're going to use the patch. We'll just use we'll just use default for now. Input monitoring, we need to be on. It's a mono track on input 1. Let's create it. Here's our new vocal track, and we want it to be voice there. And let's just use the classic vocal to start with, just as a recording. So wah 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 la 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 la. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot in the way of latency there, but we'll see. We'll see if the microphone latency does the same thing. So we'll just close a few things here. Check. See if we need to turn down my input gain on my microphone, which we probably do by just a tad. So that's on my hardware. I'm using the Steinberg UR22C, my favorite audio interface of all time. I reckon that's going to be about right. And again, that's why I like Logic Pro, and I like having my little channel strip there, because you can check your levels. Check 1, 2. Make sure you're not peaking. Not peaking. And then you're good. All right. Turn on our record and record in this track. I'll make sure I have my vocals, my lyrics up here, and we will go for it. Recording. I'll turn off this mic and join you just over here. All right. So yeah, need to practice the song. And this is a good thing. I can take a version of this without, look, this is where using Logic Pro does kind of boil my piss a bit that I can't use Logic Pro on my iPhone, because one of my favorite things to do with GarageBand was to practice this by taking the actual project out and just recording using like earbuds and recording my vocals that way. So I can't do that, but what I can do is just get an instrumental version of this and practice while I'm out, and even just record to my voice recorder while I'm listening to it and get an idea, because there's a few things there where I need to change some words. I need to workshop some of the phrasing and other things that we have there. So yeah, all in all, not bad. What happened there? I was at when my cable just did a little click. Let's have a look. We have the latency again, don't we? It really is recording with that significant latency. So yeah, I don't know what's happening with the playback there. Let's record a little bit one more time with the low latency mode on, because I again did not do that. So again, we could use this to line up again, because look at that. That's a big chunk of latency. But we can bring it back into the realms. If you zoom in, by the way, when you zoom in, you'll see that your steps change. At the moment, we're at a 64th, and then the more you zoom in, the more that'll actually change. So if you're trying to line up something like this, like transients that we're doing here, oh, what did I do there? Oh, I moved it significantly, did I? Undo. Oh no. Oh, sorry. I was comparing it to the guitar. That's why I thought we were way out. But no, we were about there. Okay. And then you zoom right on in, and then you can sort of see the very start. And we'll just line it up with our ironically lesser one in GarageBand that actually is on the money. Let's play this back again.
I was back in my 20s. I didn't have any kids of my own, but you gotta admit that you were kind of a dick, but so was I. Hey, Brett.
Right, let's just re-record that first chunk, and we'll just see if using the low latency monitoring, which is this little button here, by the way, the little clock button there, let's see if this will make any significant difference here. Let's grab my microphone, and I'll scroll back up to the top of the lyric sheet, and play this and record. I'll just do it from here. So we'll get that recording. And our input gain. Turn off this mic again, just so that we've got just this. All right.
Hey, Brett. I was an asshole. I didn't know what you were dealing with. I was back in my 20s. I didn't have any kids of my own, but you gotta admit that you were kind of a dick, but so was I. Hey, Brett, I'm sorry now.
I really need to get a new, my favorite red XLR cable, as you can hear there, doesn't quite seal properly, and that's no good, because you don't want to get those clicks and pops in your vocals. Did it line up that time? It looks like it did a better job, didn't it? It looks like the low latency monitoring actually worked, but we'll find out. Let's mute out the last version and take a listen. Oh, don't need to go back there.
Hey, Brett, sorry that an asshole. I didn't know what you were dealing with. I was back in my 20s.
So let's we'll turn it off now, and let's just I'm intrigued by this now, because it might be something that others are missing as well when you're recording, by not having the low latency monitoring on. Maybe it's another video, maybe it's tomorrow's video, maybe you've already seen the video. All right, let's come back over here. I'll just leave all the mics on this time, but
Hey, Brett, I was an asshole. I didn't know what you were dealing with.
yeah, look at that. All right. Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's not good. So yeah, I'll leave this all set up here. I'll just undo that. I don't need to do that, because I think that's a trap, because I forget to do that all the time, as you saw. And the guitar, like, we had to move that guitar. Whereas if you just throw on low latency monitoring mode, it's going to work for you, and it's going to improve your quality of your recordings. You're not going to have things out of sync. You're not going to have to be flying things around like we had to do before. So how are we going on time? Are we up to our? We are. We're almost at our 90 minutes. So in order to give us a few minutes here to summarize and to go through things and see what we've learned. So let us talk about all the things we did here, and what I would suggest that we do. So the first thing we did is we grabbed the GarageBand project and we moved it over here. I'm not going to open it again there, because I'm worried it's going to cause more problems, we'll just close this down and turn that one off there. So we brought this over here. We then created a drummer metronome track here as our guide track. And the reason I do this is I find this an easier way to see where everything is than using markers, which is the other option we have. I've shown markers before. I find them clunky. I don't like them. So I use this instead. Although markers may actually help with the chords. So maybe when we return to this next time in GarageBand Weekly, maybe we'll look at that. But yeah, so we then added our key signatures and added our key signature track. We then used the guitar, so the original guitar, to determine our chords track, which it did a pretty good job of. Some of the weirdness with it not being lined up directly on a bar marker was a bit challenging, but it seems to be okay for most of them. It was really only that first one, and that might have just been because that first chord, although as I'm saying that, I'm seeing ones like this where it's off the marker. So that might just be a little bit of, manual work to get those set and make sure that they're all right on bar markers. It would be great if there was an option to say, because it should really, like, chord changes in most songs are not going to happen just before or just after, unless they do. But it'd be great if there was an option in there. Maybe there is, and maybe you're telling me, you're screaming into the chat in the comments right now that there is an option, Johns. You just didn't set the only do it on the bar marker thing. So that was good though, because it did save us a lot of time. We then fiddled around with some of these tracks, and I do love these. I thought they came out pretty good. We've not fiddled with them much at all, but even just like this intro. Nice, right? But yeah, and look, they might not all stay, or what we can do with these is maybe create some variation. So maybe it's stripped down in the first verse and chorus with just guitar and vocal, and then it's like, then it kicks in with some of these. And in our pauses, we'll have to make sure our instruments pause as well, which we'll address in the future as well. We then played some guitar. We realized the necessity to always have low latency monitoring on. So if you haven't got the option there, tap in the top right there, customize your control bar, and come over to modes and make sure low latency monitoring is one of your options, and then you can turn that on before you record. Remember to do it, because you saw exactly what happens when you don't use it. You get at least a few samples of latency, and it sounded okay when I was recording. Maybe it didn't, I don't know. When I listen back, it might not, but yeah, you want to avoid that if you can. We played with the tempo track too just before that, so we used our guitar chords here to tell the tempo track that we've got a slowdown at the end, and it works pretty well. We won't have the drums and the keys there towards the end, because they didn't really understand what the slowdown was trying to do there. And then we recorded some vocals, which didn't come out great, but we've got a scratch vocal there now that we can play with. I'm just going to delete this one out, and I'll remove these tracks for now. Actually, I'll leave one track in there so that I can do that video on low latency monitoring, because it's an important thing, and it'll be good to share with folks. And then we had a big giant problem where we had problems with our files. So what did we learn from that? And that is that when you're doing the duplicate thing, be patient. Like maybe I should have gone, that should have been a toilet break, is when I jumped out of the project like that and was creating my next version of it. Because you can see there's still got this weird one here. It's still trying to sync items. Well, now it's actually uploading this to iCloud. So the best thing to do is to actually wait for that to fully upload, because, yep, it's like that. And see, now nothing's syncing. And now it's also going to be on device and in cloud. So now when we duplicate, it should be, yeah, almost instantaneous. So there you go. There's your learning for that one, is to, when you're duplicating your track, to have a new version in case you want to back up. Don't rush it, because otherwise, if it's in the middle of uploading, you'll have that weird conflict error issue that I had, and then I tried to move it, and then it didn't work, and we spent 10 minutes sitting in the Files app. It recovered, which is good. So kudos that it recovered, but wasn't really the sort of thing that should have had to happen in the first place. Right, we are plumb out of time, folks. So I hope you enjoyed this session. Looking over my shoulder, watching me work on this project. As I mentioned, we'll be back doing more of this in a few days' time. Make sure you're subscribed and all the YouTube notification things, because we'll be doing spending a bit more time workshopping this further. I'm going to spend the weekend practicing it, playing it. Maybe I'll play it on the happy hour. Who knows? But make sure you subscribe to keep in touch with all of that. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this, and if you got to the very end, I thank you greatly. What do some YouTubers say? They say put an emoji, put a guitar emoji in the comments if you made it all the way to the end, and I'll know you are an absolute legend. That is going to do it, folks. Please be kind to yourself this week. Be kind to others. Keep creating, and I'll see you next time.